The story opens with a young woman named Millie Calloway arriving at a massive Long Island estate owned by the wealthy Winchester family. On her arrival, she is greeted by Nina, who is the lady of the house. She takes Millie on a full house tour and explains that the housekeeping position Millie applied for requires her to live on the property. But unfortunately, after all these, Nina promised to be in touch with Millie regarding the job offer. Just as Millie leaves, she narrates to we the viewers that she had presented an impressive resume packed with experience and credentials. But through narration, we also learn she is convinced she won't get the job because nearly everything on that resume is fabricated. Sadly, at this point, we're also meant to know that Millie has been sleeping in her car, barely getting by after recently being released from prison following a 10-year sentence. Millie continues to have a daily routine as days passes by, but unfortunately, one morning, some cops warned her that she can't park where she was, while also taking a sleep. So at this exact moment, Millie got an unexpected call from Nina, who officially offers her the job, and she is completely overwhelmed by this opportunity and is very happy, as she is told she could work as soon as possible. Immediately, Millie drove straight to the location to begin her new job offer. During this, she crosses paths with Enzo, the quiet and reserved groundskeeper. As soon as she was in, Millie is welcomed by Nina and also taken to her room. So at night, just as she settles into her role around the estate, she begins handling the household chores. Shortly after, she is formally introduced to Andrew, Nina's husband, and their young daughter Cecilia, often called Cece, although Nina's husband doesn't seem to like the idea but seems to just flow with the whole occurrence, as he offered Millie some food if she was hungry. After which, Millie went straight into her room to check the place out, and shortly after, Nina walked into her room to offer her dinner, insisting she shouldn't feel offended about Andrew because her husband have always been a person with so many words. During this, Millie asked Nina if her window can be unlocked because it seems stuck. And Nina offers to help with that before then giving Millie a phone, which Millie really appreciated. One morning, Millie is jolted awake by loud shouting from the kitchen. Quickly, Millie rushed out, but unfortunately, her door seems to be jammed. Luckily for Nina, she manages to open it, and we get to witness Nina is in the middle of a furious breakdown, tearing the room apart after failing to locate her PDA speech notes. She quickly blames Millie, convinced the papers were thrown away. At this exact moment, Andrew steps in to calm Nina down, as he promised to take their daughter to school in order to give Nina enough time to make another writing for her speech. Millie also apologized for mistakenly ruining Nina's day. Once things settle, Andrew privately apologizes to Millie for the outburst, as he promised Millie that tomorrow would definitely be better. Once they were done, Millie took the trash out, but while she was at it, she is approached by Enzo, who asked what she was doing in the house. Unfortunately, their conversation is cut short as he cited Nina. Later that evening, Millie made dinner and served the family their dinner, and in return, Andrew insisted that she sit and eat with them, but yet again, Millie declined the offer and proceeded to walk back into her room. There, she took out her phone, opened Instagram, and goes through Andrew pictures. Suddenly, a knock was heard, and it was Andrew who came in with a cupcake, claiming Cece wanted Millie to have that. The two began to stare at each other as thing led to another. In a plot twist, we get to realize that it was all a dream. Meanwhile, behind the scenes, Millie continues attending mandatory check-ins with her parole officer, a part of her life she keeps hidden from the Winchesters. Once she was done with her meeting, Nina later instructs Millie on a call to pick Cece up from ballet class. But when Millie arrives, she discovers Cece is already busy at a playdate with another girl. After calling the other child's mother, it's confirmed that Nina had already approved the arrangement, leaving Millie awkwardly caught in the middle. Later that day, when Millie arrived back home, she meets Evelyn, Andrew's mother, who arrives with a set of valuables from China and insists it be stored safely with her son. In the evening, Millie struggles to sleep, and just then, she wanders down to the basement, which doubles as Andrew's private hangout space. Andrew eventually finds her there, and the two end up talking. He opens up about Nina's long history of emotional instability, revealing that she lost her parents in a house fire as a child, an incident he quietly suspects she may have caused herself. Their conversation is suddenly interrupted when Nina catches them together. Furious, she immediately tries to fire Millie. Desperate, Millie pleads for another chance. Nina ultimately backs down but delivers a harsh warning, making it clear that Millie is to keep her distance from Andrew, and she must now dress appropriately from now henceforth. Later on, Millie overhears disturbing gossip from another parent at the ballet studio. According to the rumors, Nina once attempted to drown Cece in a bathtub when she was still a baby. The story goes on to claim that Nina later tried to take her own life, an incident that ultimately led to her being admitted into a psychiatric facility. When Nina arrived at the scene, it is evident that Nina's behavior toward Millie becomes increasingly hostile, as she openly badmouths her to other women in the neighborhood. Later on, Nina goes to admit she had lied about being pregnant when she and Millie first met. The next day, Millie makes an effort to bond with Cece, but the child keeps her distance and shows little interest. Later, when Cece and Millie were together in a room, they heard a loud scream from Nina, so Andrew instructed his daughter to go to her room as he have a word Millie. The next day, despite the tension, Nina tasks Millie with securing Broadway tickets for a show Andrew wants to attend so they can enjoy a weekend together. Millie willing agreed to assist Nina with that, but firstly, she goes to drop Cece for her practice section, before then successfully booking the ticket. Upon Millie's arrival back home, Nina suddenly claims the show clashes with CC Art Camp schedule and lashes out at Millie for purchasing non-refundable seats, and now she wants Millie to pay her back for the mistake, but Millie pleaded that she can't even afford that. Andrew steps in, suggesting they will just call the credit card company for a reverse, or that he attend the show with Millie instead. Once this was all sorted out, Millie goes to take a shower, but on her way out, she came across Andrew, who immediately rushed back while also apologizing. So later in the evening, the two goes for the show secretly, which they both enjoyed. After the show, Millie and Andrew grab dinner, and during their time together, Andrew confides a major secret. He is not Cece's biological father, a truth Cece herself doesn't know. A moment later, the two decide to go for a dance and enjoy their evening even more. Once they were done, the two proceed to check into a hotel with neighboring rooms. Millie immediately plugged her phone only to receive a flood of angry messages from Nina and shows them to Andrew. As emotions run high, Andrew comforts Millie, and their connection crosses a line as the night takes a more intimate turn. The following day, Andrew makes it clear to Millie that whatever happened the night before must stay hidden, stressing that Nina can never find out about it. The following day, Millie and Andrew return home, where Nina suddenly switches tone and apologizes to Millie for the hostile messages she sent. Not long after, Nina unexpectedly brings up Millie's time in prison during a conversation with Andrew. She then hands Millie her car keys, insisting Millie use her vehicle instead, mocking Millie's own car as an embarrassment. While out shopping, Millie is quietly pulled aside by one of Nina's friends, who reveals a chilling detail. Nina has been tracking Millie's phone, meaning she already knows about the secret relationship. Moments later, police arrive after the car Millie is driving is reported stolen. Andrew shows up to smooth things over and gets Millie released. On their way, Millie apologizes for not telling Andrew about her past, but he seems to be okay with that. Back at the house, Nina finally confronts both of them after discovering a playbill, confirming her suspicions that Millie and Andrew went to the show together, and that their relationship went further than that. She explodes at Andrew, but instead of backing down, he orders Nina to leave the house. Nina packs up and walks out. Over time, Millie and Andrew quietly begin seeing each other. However, things take a sudden turn when Enzo appears outside the house. Having previously warned Millie to stay away, his presence startles her, causing her to drop a tray holding Evelyn's expensive china plates. Andrew quickly sends Enzo away and helps Millie clean up the mess. Later, the two share a drink in Millie's room, and their closeness grows even more intense. Millie later wakes up disoriented and realizes something is very wrong. She's been drugged. All of her belongings are gone, and the door is locked from the outside. Panic sets in as she rushes to the door, desperately pounding on it while calling for help. Andrew from the other end promised to open the door, but not now, after which he left. The movie then shifted to the moment Nina left the house, revealing that her departure was carefully planned from the start. In Nina's voice narration, she writes a heartfelt letter to Cece, laying out the story of her life and the truth she's never been able to tell. Nina reflects on the house fire that claimed her parents, addressing the long-standing pain of Andrew, repeatedly suggesting she may have been responsible for it. After bouncing through the foster system, Nina explains how she became pregnant by her college professor, a man who wanted no involvement in Cece's life. Eventually, Nina met Andrew and married him, believing she had finally found stability. But over time, his controlling nature began to surface. One moment in particular stands out, Andrew criticizing her appearance over something as small as her hair roots showing. That criticism escalated into cruelty. Andrew locked Nina in the attic and forced her to pull out strands of her own hair as punishment, only letting her out after she met his demands. Even then, his abuse didn't stop. He later drugged her and manipulated events to make it appear as though she had harmed Cece, which led to Nina being committed to a psychiatric facility. Although she was eventually released, Nina's attempts to escape the house with Cece and helped by Enzo, but failed when Andrew discovered the plan. He had her institutionalized again, threatening to keep her locked away for even the smallest mistake. With no clear way out, Nina realized the only option left was to find someone else to take her place. That's when she deliberately positioned Millie as a distraction, slowly pushing Andrew toward her. Back in the present, Andrew coldly explains that Millie has been locked in the attic as punishment for breaking Evelyn's valuable china plates. He lays out a disturbing ultimatum, forcing Millie to harm herself by cutting a line in her stomach 21 times, a long and deep cut, as repayment for each broken piece, promising freedom once she is done. Suddenly, the film then shifted to Millie's side of the story, finally revealing what led to her imprisonment. As a student, Millie walked in on her roommate's boyfriend assaulting her and reacted in the moment, killing him. When the truth was denied by the roommate, Millie was left to take the fall, serving 10 years of a 15-year sentence. Soon after, Millie complies and did in accordance to what Andrew wanted, enduring the ordeal and waiting for him to return. The next day, when Andrew finally comes back, he lets his guard down, giving Millie the opening she needs. She attacks him with a hidden blade, turns the tables, and locks him inside the room instead. Refusing to let the abuse end there, Millie deliberately destroys the remaining china plate and leaves Andrew with one final humiliating demand, which was that he pull his tooth out. After much hesitation, Andrew did according to her demands, before abandoning him. Meanwhile, Nina has already escaped with Cece, but Cece insists they can't leave without Millie, which made Nina return to the house. Believing Millie is still trapped, she goes on to unlock the door. Unfortunately, she realizes the truth too late, as Andrew breaks free and violently turns on Nina before chasing after Millie through the house. After a long extended battle between the two, Millie manages to vanish, leaving Nina alone to face her husband once more. Andrew tries to regain control, insisting Nina still needs him. Instead, she finally stands her ground, unloading years of resentment toward both him and his mother. At that moment, Millie reappears and ends Andrew's reign for good, sending him crashing down the staircase to his death. In the aftermath, Nina hastily arranges the scene to look like a tragic accident, stating he fell while trying to change a light bulb, and urges Millie to leave, apologizing for everything she was put through. With Enzo's help, Nina cleans up before the police arrive. One officer notices inconsistencies, including a wound Andrew had, but quietly chooses not to press further. It's subtly implied this officer knows Andrew's history of cruelty firsthand. Later, Nina attends Andrew's funeral with Cece and plays ignorant when questioned by Evelyn. During the service, she spots Millie one last time and discreetly hands her a check for $100,000, giving her the chance at a fresh start. In the closing moments, Millie attends an interview for a new housekeeping job. The woman explains that Nina personally recommended her. As they talk, Millie notices a bruise on the woman's wrist and senses a familiar situation unfolding. When the woman hints she knows parts of Millie's past, Millie simply responds with one calm question, asking when she can begin. The movie then came to an end. Kindly subscribe for more movie recap like this. Thanks for watching and goodbye.